GM, FOMOverse Radio. This is your show host, Austin Hamilton. Today we have the man, the myth, the legend, Luca Ponsato. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, Austin? How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Just taking care of the little baby doggy. I share with you the little French bulldog. I'm still in the little poopy butt stage. But we're getting past that. She's doing better, and yeah, just doing me, bro. How about you?
All right, just happy to be here. Just been working, and one of the cutest dogs that I've seen in a minute. So,
Oh, thank you.
thank you for sharing with me.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I just, she brings a lot of love and light to me, so wanted to share that with you. Luca, thank you first of all for coming on the show. Second of all, why don't you start off? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Sure. So I joined this side of space about 6 months or so ago, as a collector. Not really thinking about curation at that point, and just curious about art. Had not really had much of a background in it. Definitely no background in collecting it. And this was my first exposure to seeing art every day. So, like many people, I just fell in love with it. Um, as time went on, found different nooks and crannies that I fit into. Um, Curation was something that I fell in love with. And one thing that ended up coming back into my life was poetry. Um, Wrote a few poems that were inspired by different pieces that I had seen and ended up minting a few of them, just as gifts. And recently I've been uh, selling some of them both on Foundation and Manifold. But uh, so I guess it's become quite the hyphen at this point. Collector, aspiring curator, poet, and whatever else you want to call me.
Beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like you've been in this space so long, and I think I might have seen you like I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago. I just feel like I've seen you around for years now. By now, I know that's not the case. It just feels like that. What do they say? Like one actual human year, it's like 1,000 crypto years or something.
Yeah, it
Like
feels the same for me. I have to kind of like check myself every once in a while on how long I've actually been here.
yeah, it's crazy. Just did you expect your Genesis poem to go for a pretty impressive price? I mean, I think you got close to like 1 ETH, didn't you?
Yeah, that ended up selling for 0.75 to uh, Def Stalker, DEF Stalker. Um, I can't say that I expected that whatsoever. I mean, I don't think that anyone really uh, should expect something for their Genesis piece. Not, that comes off a little bit wrong, but um, especially coming in as a collector, not being an artist first and foremost, I had absolutely no expectations for it. I thought that it was just going to sit forever and maybe go for honestly zero point zero 0.01, which is what I listed it for.
And is it this one right here? Everyone else is gray.
Yep, that's the one. That's based on a poem by Irfan's.
Do you
And
do you mind here
please,
just going over the poem with everybody? Maybe do a little read on it.
sure, yeah, I can do one of those for you.
Awesome.
Um, so this is Everyone Else is Gray, and uh, this is the first poem that I listed. This is a Genesis piece, and while I don't read them often, I will do one for you.
Thank you.
The colors began to rise again. I thought that they had stopped. Sure, a part of me was missing, like a portrait that was cropped. I thought I had suppressed my colors and was able to feel gray. Did others have these colors inside and hid them then say way? The colors finally came out of me because I'm just not like the others. While their brains are gray matter, mine is explosive exploding with amazing colors. And yeah, I mean, I think it's honestly the most positive poem that I have in terms of the message that comes across. And so I definitely understand why people uh, gravitated towards it in the beginning, in the sense that the message is one that I think can resonate with a lot of people. And while the other poems that I've had are more personal and more dark in some senses, this is definitely one that I was super proud of, and that was why I had to make it my genesis. You know, I had definitely received a lot of encouragement to do so, and I had a lot of poems that I could have chosen from. So it should have been a difficult decision, but it wasn't. I knew this was going to be the one.
Bro, when that hit, I remember just seeing it and I was like, all right, this is going to do something here. And
I appreciate that.
yeah, and like I was just telling you, Luca, right before the show, my girlfriend actually just started collecting NFTs. Like, she had a couple from like Trevor Jones' castle party we went to last year, but this was like her first time putting her actual money into it. And it was just crazy. Like I told her, I was like, look at this. This is from my buddy Luca. This is going to do something here. And she's like, oh, that's so cool. Because she's into like poetry and writing as well, too. So she was able to relate with that. And I just think what you're doing here is amazing. Just words on the screen here. We see it a lot of images, a lot of, art, whatever, JPEGs. But you really don't see a lot of like words that have a lot of meaning behind them, especially like with NFTs and stuff like that. It's people care more about, like, it seems that people care more about like the attributes and how rare the piece is, and oh, I got number one, but it's like this is has like a pretty personal meaning to it, man. So keep doing what you're doing, man. It's very unique. I have not seen a lot of people mint stuff like this, outside of Lost Poets and stuff. I don't know if you know. Do you know about
Hmm.
Lost Poets?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It kind of like, that was kind of like the first time I seen like poetry meets NFTs, and
Okay.
this just kind of like picks back up where we kind of left off there. So again, congrats on that. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And I
Appreciate
know
you.
we were talking about you have a uh, live auction going on right now.
Yeah, very honored to have received a bid from Fo on this one, who had the piece that inspired it, the artwork that inspired it, which is A Lonely Man's Last Day. Um, which, if you're familiar with the piece, and when it came out, there was you know two different sides to the reception to the piece, and I was in the side that was very thankful that Fo had made the artwork. Not a lot of artists are willing to take on the subject um, of both suicide and suicidal thoughts. And to be able to take inspiration from it was so important to me in this case, because to be able to have respect for it in that way, I mean, I like to see my poems in that way of showing respect and almost honoring the piece that I'm taking inspiration from. Um, so I had sat on this for quite some time, just going back to the piece, and didn't have any words written down. And in this past week, I was able to find the words, uh, and just super proud, honestly, in this moment that they resonated with Fo.
And what made you find the words? Was it a certain setting that you were at? Is it just like a certain part of your life? Is it just trying to put the pen and pad together and just writing down stuff? What gets you to write down this kind of poem here?
Well, a lot of the times it's a natural thing that happens, to be quite honest. I will either have an emotion that I will attribute to a piece that I've seen in the past. I'll be thinking about some moment in my life, or um, it will happen, uh, whatever in that week. And I'll say, this specific piece comes into my mind. Um, One example of that is Arrogant Keys piece. I hope I'm saying that right. Um, and I just did the piece, Just the Memory. That was something that sort of played into part of my life recently. And that piece then popped into my mind. Um, but here with Foe, it was super important for me to be able to write a poem about this, um, for whatever reason I may have. So I made sure that this past week I sat down a few nights in a row. What I like to do is I just turn on white noise and sit down in front of the screen and just have the piece in front of me. Actually, two screens. I have the piece on one screen and just have uh, the notes app open, and I just let the words come out. It's not really a lot of, excuse me,
No, you're good, bro.
it's not really a lot of conscious effort. It's not, I want this word to rhyme with this word. They just kind of, I would say the middle of the poems is where the most effort is done. But the beginning and the end sort of just, someone used the term recently, automatic writing. And I feel like that's definitely the best way to describe it. Um, they just, if I put myself into the setting of wanting to write or feeling like I should be writing, um, a poem is going to come out.
That's amazing, brother.
So yeah,
Is it
it's
what's is there any like inspiring poets that maybe like what is William Shakespeare a poet?
so Shakespeare, uh, I believe, just wrote plays. Yeah,
Let's get him up here.
but I
See if
I
he can call
definitely
into the
really enjoyed
show.
a lot of Shakespeare. GM Shakespeare. Yeah, but Hamlet is actually, I wouldn't say it's a huge inspiration for me, but it's definitely something that stuck with me for quite some time. I've seen a lot of different interpretations of it, and so I think that that is something that definitely stuck with me. Seeing how people could take this one play and take it into their own either modern interpretations or uh, completely in different interpretations. I think that you know while I don't think I would have brought it up on its own, I think that that definitely had its effect on me.
Just looking back at a lot of this like old school stuff, Hamlet, Shakespeare, stuff like that. I don't know why, but like the word philosophy comes into my mind when I like see like these older guys like just imagine like put yourself in their shoes, way back in the day before there was like electricity and running water and stuff like that. Just imagine like where their head was back then compared to like where we're at, we got our phone
Yeah,
right in our pocket. We're looking at it every 2 seconds. We stress out because we can't make it to Starbucks on time. Just like our daily struggles that we go through, and then just to think like way back with these guys, what they had to go through.
well, it's also I think um, like you're saying, what they had to go through. It's like where do you go with that emotion? And that's definitely something that I resonate with heavily. Where it's like, who are they talking to about this stuff? No one. I mean, if we have the sense that we can't speak to stuff about it, how are people, in this day and age going about it? And so the ability to express yourself through writing um, was paramount for some of these people, some of these writers. And I definitely resonate with that heavily in terms of uh, if I didn't have my poetry, where would I go with these feelings and emotions? Edgar Allan Poe is one that really
Edgar
has
Allan.
Edgar Allan Poe is one that's definitely had a huge effect on me. Um,
There we go.
so yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it.
This
The
one
heart
is
underneath the floorboards.
this one. Oh, that's what it's called.
No, I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Here we go. Here's one right here, a little
The
short one.
Telltale Heart.
Telltale Heart.
So that's one that I wrote quite a large paper on in college. So it definitely has stuck with me quite a bit. And this isn't just a poem. This is a Edgar Allan Poe's short stories. But um, it just this really it to say that it's not poetry is to just talk about its format. I mean, the way that he writes is poetry um, to me, and just like the different interpretations that you can take from his work. I mean, this one has stuck with me forever, uh, and it's just a lot about guilt and the stress and anxiety that comes along with how he carried that and how it manifested itself in this very physical way for this man. Um, and I think that that's something that I take a lot of inspiration from is the physical manifestation of emotions. I've spoken about in the past, making people feel nostalgic for a place they haven't been or a feeling that they haven't felt. And I think that if you can make that physical, then it becomes much more tangible for them.
Luca, that kind of reminds me like the whole question, like art philosophy, like what is art? And I think good art can absolutely make you feel an emotion. Um, and I don't think that the emotions have to be the same with everybody. Everybody takes things differently. It's like your own perspective. But it just kind of brings up, the question, what is art?
Oh, I think that it is the manifestation of emotion in whatever form that it takes. Um, you say art, good art should make you feel emotion, I think is what you said.
Yes.
Uh, I think if art doesn't make you feel something in any sense, it could be good, bad, disgust, love, whatever it might be, then I don't actually think that it's art.
Correct.
Um, I think that I had seen it somewhere. Art without emotion is just a demonstration of what that person or technique or machinery can do.
Wow. Pretty stout quote, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could attribute it to who I saw it from.
Love it, bro. Love the art talk here this morning.
Oh, I couldn't love it more.
Thanks everybody for checking out the show this morning. Um, by the way, see you guys in the comments there. GM Carmen McClintock, that's my mom. Shout out, mom. What up? She's like my only follower here.
Yeah,
No,
Mom.
I'm just joking.
I love it. Listen, even if it was, that would be an audience of everything you need.
Yep. I can't remember who it was, but it was me and one other guy talking on the show one day, and it was like both of our moms commenting. It was awesome.
I love that. My mom is my greatest supporter, and no matter how big I could ever get, she always will be.
Shout out, mom. What up? I'm gonna find the Tijo um, page here real quick. I actually put a transaction hash here on my
Oh yeah.
Twitter. Yep. I don't think anybody knew really what it was. I posted it to Semicolon Man, and he's like, "Bro, you're making this way harder than it should be." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. Like, you don't understand, bro. I'm just like, I see the website. I'm just checking this out. I like how you have to change the input and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, so this is one of Tijo. You can see that he put the transaction in here. So it says from Tijo to Tijo. It says right here, input data. Getting your attention is the thorn in my practice. I just love how simple this is right here. And it kind of had to do with, like, to me, to like posting this transaction hash. Some people were like, what is this? And I don't think they really looked. But then it was like behind the code, it says getting your attention is the thorn in my practice. So I was like, okay, this is kind of like poetic here. Like, I'm getting people to like interact with Tijo's poem. Like, they don't even know what it is. Like, I don't know. I just think this is really
Hmm.
cool here.
But first off, the second that anyone brings up Tijo, you can't see me, but the biggest smile comes across my face. So uh, I'm very happy to speak uh, about this. But I think that it's a really poignant thing to put on the blockchain, in terms of what Tijo is doing here. And that's not to say that I fully understand it. I wish that I did already. But I think it's, to me, to say that he's going to be doing everything that we need to see here. And so, you know, I think it actually explains itself in the sense that uh, this is his practice. I think that this is going to take uh, some precedent in a sense, and I hope that uh, it does get the attention that it's going to deserve, and already does.
When is the first time you seen Tijo?
That's a very good question. Um,
Was it before the Nifty Gateway drop?
no, no, so I joined. I believe the Nifty Gateway drop was June of last year.
It was, yeah. So it was like right. So it was like right after the Trevor Jones Castle party. Because I remember being in Edinburgh and just pulling up Nifty Gateway, and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "This is something crazy." I'm like, "Babe, come here." I'm like, you have to do this drawing." And so it was like a drawing for like 50 editions at like $100, and I was like, "This is just like insane looking." And so I just remember like hitting like enter drawing, and then I shared it with like a couple of my close buddies. I was like, "Hey, I think this is something special here." And they're like, "What?" And like literally after the drawing ended, there was like 3,000 entries. And they were like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Yep, something special here." So, yeah, that's probably the first time I seen Tijo was the Nifty Gateway drop.
I really wish that I could. The first time I ever interacted with him was telling him that a third of my following was because of him. But I joined the space probably just, oh, so August 2nd. So no, I actually was around for this. And oh, you know what it was? Just before Protein Prosecco bought that one of one. So that was the period in between this nifty drop and I'm failing to remember the name of the piece.
Was it a was it wasn't the Blur one, was it?
No, 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 no. But far before that. Um, and it was in the similar setting, so I believe it was around the same time frame. Uh, oh yeah, we could do this. Oh, this is my favorite thing to do. It's going to be a bit further back. The slap across the face with the rose. That one. I hate you. So yeah, so August 2nd and August 10th. So it was just in between those two periods. So I was just too late to uh, get in on the Nifty Gateway drop. And that's not to say that this was my first exposure to Tijo, but this was the first time where I was saying to myself, this is the person. This is the one that I'm going to be all about. Um, and when you look at this, it's like, how could you not? Uh,
No,
it's
I fully
just,
agree, brother. I mean, just, without even knowing his background or anything, literally when he popped in a Nifty Gateway, like before the drawing even started, I was just like, this is fucking unreal. This is something that, you'd like see in a museum or something. Like seriously, it's I mean, you don't really see this kind of quality that often. And it's so traditional looking too. I mean, in this digital space, you see a lot of, digital applications going to work, a lot of animation, and you can tell. I mean, this is literally getting out the brush and cutting out, pasting. I mean, this is real shit right here that you're looking at, and you can tell. I mean, it just this is quality stuff right here, and I like you said, Luca. I don't know how you wouldn't want to be all in after you see his
mhm.
stuff.
And if you look on the right side, that's the first instance really I saw of poetry being used in NFTs, or at least the first one that stuck with me. I don't want to discredit anything that had happened before that, but
Mm-hmm.
Tijo Tijo and Storm have been, everything in terms of uh, getting into poetry and NFTs, but it really couldn't have happened without Tijo.
Yeah, I want to credit Tijo a bunch here. I mean, last year was a pretty tough year for me with NFTs. Um, and really, kind of mid end through the year seeing Tijo, I'm like, it kind of gave me like the faith back into like, I don't know, like, like finding really good talent. I mean, there's like a ton of talent out there. I know, like, I haven't seen like a lot of artists. I'm sure, there's probably artists right now that are creating some masterpieces. But when I seen this, again, I was like, okay, like, this is something special. I haven't seen this guy before. Let me see what it's all about. Let me follow him. Let me look at his past work. It really got me interested. It got me curious. Um, so yeah, it's just amazing watching him blow up, and seeing all of his work. Now, one thing I don't understand really, and I think he's tried to like explain to me, but sometimes like it takes me a little bit to like understand things. Was the out of blue rooms? Like I think he mentioned something like some of these pieces were like the last blue rooms.
Mhm. So the last, while I don't know about the release, the way they're released, I believe the last one was, I'm going to butcher this, Un Vente Iver, which I think is, yep, right
Right here.
there.
Yep.
That was seen as the end, and a beautiful poem as well. Um, I mean, just a lot of my poems have been inspired by Tijo's work. Some at least, some not. But this was one that I had to sort of try and put out there. And so, I mean, I always am a little hesitant to put out poetry when an artist has already put out an accompanying poem.
Mm-hmm.
But Tijo's work just inspires me so much that I can't really help it.
I want to just make a little quick note here. He has I've noticed like in like some of his work here, he'll put like his past pieces up, and I think that's really a nice feature. This call me
Mhm.
piece, it says, "This is mom. Call me. Bye." It's just funny, But yeah, no. I was fortunate enough to get one of the shower pieces. Call me. I lucked out on
Oh
that thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I took cold showers 7 days straight and just suffered through the cold, and I actually like would stand there and, wash my hair and like take a full blown cold shower. And it's funny, like at work, I was telling people, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this shower challenge, and they're like, for what? And I'm like, for a Tijo piece, and they're like, man, I would not do a cold shower. I'm like, yeah, you would. If you really knew like Tijo's work and
Oh my
everything,
God, yeah.
like you would take a cold shower for like a year straight just to like get in his work, you know. And I just remember like when the cold shower challenge ended, I was like, okay, I did all the I did the 7 days, I took pictures, blah blah blah, and then it was like, oh wait, this is gonna be like a drawing, and there's like 300 something people that entered, and I'm like, it kind of dawned on me at that second of time. I was like, okay, I might not win this, but it was all about the experience. Like I pushed
Hmm.
myself past my limits taking a cold shower, and I know it's good for like mental health and like it's just really good for you anyways to take cold showers. So maybe this just was a good thing anyways. And then boom, like I won it and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, maybe the art gods knew that I took a cold shower every day and that's why I got rewarded.
It had to be something because I absolutely love that piece. I didn't get it myself. I was just happy to be taking cold showers, be a part of the challenge. And I'll never complain about receiving any gifts from Tijo because I've received the greatest possible one. But that piece, man, that piece definitely speaks to me very heavily as well.
Which, did you receive this piece right here?
Yeah, that's me. That is uh that is my greatest. Uh, I don't want to even call it a possession, but uh,
Right. It's
man,
beyond that. It's beyond that.
yeah,
Uh,
no, yeah, this is a part of me at this point.
is it a one of one? What is it?
Yeah, this is a one of one.
Oh
This
my
is part
god.
of the Tijo gifts collection.
Oh my god.
Um, and this is the first time that I ever really believed that my poetry had value to it. If you look at I could just stare at this piece all day, but uh,
That's
if you
crazy,
look at the
man.
poem
Hats
that's
off
in the
to you.
description, thank you.
That's
I
so
mean, no,
cool.
nothing to thank here. I mean, I'm just a very lucky person to be around someone that is that generous and that kind. Um, and it really just it changed my entire mindset as to how I thought about what I created. Um, and just uh, you know, put my poem in the description, and
Oh, and it has your name stamp right there.
yeah,
Whew.
and so yeah, no
That
one else
goes deep, bro.
will ever own this one.
So
I've said a few times that
so what do you have it
I'll
on like a multi-sig wallet or something where you have to have like five different cold storages for it or
it's it's a six key physical turn.
Yep.
No, it's just on the ledger for now, but I have the separate one that I have to get it on. I've honestly been hesitant because I don't want to have to move it. I don't want to do anything with it, but I have the separate one that it's going to go on soon.
Just fucking bury it.
Seriously, I mean,
Shit. Put it in some concrete or something. You could probably put the ledger in a museum now.
so I've said a few times that I'm definitely willing to have it go to museums to be exhibited, but yeah, this is never going to be listed on any marketplace. This is never going to be, any offer accepted. And I've said a few times, it's easy to say that when, you know, the hundreds of thousands of dollars aren't staring you in the face. But I'm just someone that, like, I'm not even going to be checking, to see. Like, I look at the piece all the time, but I never go to like OpenSea to see if like someone could have put in, 100 ETH offer on this before, and I've just never seen it because I don't check.
Wow. That is definitely a part of you, that you're willing not to
Uh,
sell off. That's amazing, brother. To see that kind of emotional attachment to that piece. It's awesome.
it's the It's the back, the lock screen of my phone. I look at it every morning, every possible second that I can. And um, we were talking about favorite poems before, and this being the first NFT that I created, uh, first time that I really saw any value in my poetry, as well as seeing it uh, resonate with someone else. Uh, it was really important for me. And so this is just like, probably a top three moment in my life in terms of importance.
That's sick, bro.
It,
Well,
it was definitely a seismic shift.
shoot, brother. Kind of going on 40 minutes here. I know it just freaking flies by. It seems like we just started this thing, but probably end it here, man.
Yeah, it's been great talking with you, brother. It really did fly by. I thought we were about 10
Yeah.
minutes in.
Yeah, no, I looked over. I'm like, oh, yeah, brother. But great finale. Thank you so much for sharing your poems with me and everybody else that's listening to this. And keep doing what you're doing, man. I feel like you're going to go somewhere with that. And, just keep sharing your work, bro.
Appreciate you so much, Austin. This has been an awesome first interview to ever do, and just really appreciate you having me on. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, brother. If anybody wants to reach out to you, where should they find you?
At Luca Ponsato Art on Twitter. I'm on there far too much, so feel free to find me there.
Aren't we all? All right, brother. Well, hey, you have a wonderful day. Take care.
You as well, brother. Thank you again.